There we go.
There we go. Oh my goodness, Chris.
Chris.
That was a rather subtle can opening. Tell me, which beer do we have tonight, Chris? We must know.
God, this one is called Lola IPA from Medusa Brewing, which is up in Massachusetts somewhere.
I love it.
Hudson, Mass. And Framingham, Mass. I don't know how close that is to our friend Phil up there, but
we'll have to ask him.
Pretty tasty.
Okay. Framingham. Wait, it was another place too, right?
Yeah, it's good. They've got two, Hudson, Mass. And Framingham, Massachusetts.
And Framingham. If we have Massachusetts in the house, let us know in the chat. Wait, hold on. Did Phil tell us? Oh, no, he didn't tell us yet. Oh, no. Not yet. So we'll have to ask him. We'll have to ask him when it comes up. He'll be up first, so that should be all right. Anyhow, it is the last day of July, and it's crazy. It just time has been flying. Chris, how has your July been?
My July has been pretty great. I mean, it's mostly been good weather, except for that heat wave,
which was kind of awesome. I loved it.
Terrible. Sorry. But we got through it, and there's more coming apparently. But anyway, no, it was great. It was a great month. July was great. How about your July?
Fantastic. Actually, my July was amazing. I really, I know. I got to do so many things that just were not nearly as possible, or not as as done with as much ease these past 2 years. I got to have a fabulous weekend up in Maine with my friends for 4th of July weekend. That was awesome. I got to hang out and go to a concert with my sister at Mohegan Sun and then 2 of her friends, and that was amazing. We got to do our in-person open mic, which has been what we've been dreaming of among other dreams these past 2 years, but that was such a big deal. And we got to see all of our well, not all, but many of our FUMFA friends and fellow alums. It's been incredible. And, I'm just plowing through my data science coursework, if you've heard me talk about that. And yeah, it's been a great time. And the heat wave was definitely hot, but it was nice. It was cool to, really feel that summer heat. Well, from the air conditioning, especially.
Sure. Well, you I know you go to the beach, and you sometimes you put sunscreen on.
Oh my God, Chris! I listen. I started this summer with the worst sunburn from a very stupid mistake. I literally had sunscreen with me, and I was like, "Oh, it's overcast. I don't want to feel sticky." It was the stupidest thing. Listen, the UV rays are still there, people, and I knew that.
Lesson learned.
Alas.
We've all done it. We've all been there.
I know, Chris. Well, and you've had some very cool events too, Chris. You've had some nice readings, signings.
Another Westport Writers reading, and among other things. And yeah, it's been a groovy month. But now we're on to August.
Oh, we sure are. But I feel like we're wrapping up July the most perfect way, because we are having our summer 2022 open mic night tonight. And we are so excited about this, y'all, because we have a FUMFA alum friend joining us. We have like a few brand new special guests. We have a returning special guest, and we're just really pumped to welcome you. So this is, believe it or not, FUMFA 102. Summer 2022 open mic. And we are so excited to be welcoming Phil Lemos, our friend, Laurel Peterson, a return special guest, and first time special guest, D. Allen, Balki, Kiana the Artist, Ryan Meyer, Carolyn Dollman, and Van Hartman. How awesome is that? So we'll get to enjoy a few minutes of each of these incredible writers, and hopefully we'll get to have them back again sometime very, very soon. Oh, shout out to Midnight. Midnight's in the house. It says, Phil, how goes it? My boy D. Allen. yes. D. Allen is on tonight. Is so excited to have him on the show. And hi to mom and dad, of course. And hello to everyone watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Please say hi in the chat. We will definitely give you a shout out. If you're an introvert, maybe don't say hi. No, please share some hellos and some comments and some emojis with us. We love it. Fantastic. So we're so excited about tonight. It's been a while since we've had an open mic group reading, probably just since the springtime, but we're so excited to hear everyone. But Chris, can you tell us what is coming up soon?
Oh, it would be my pleasure. Next week, August 7th, we've got Colleen Alice and Laura Johnson going to be here. Knock your socks off. And then the following week on the 14th, we've got S.K. Marr and Amy C. Martin. We got Marr and Martin for that night. The following week, we are not going to be here on Sunday night, but we are going to be live in person at the open mic at Eco Evolution, South Norwalk, where we're going to have, let's see, Victoria Buitron, Autumn Harvest doing comedy. Our friend Matt Madden's going to be doing music, and somebody else. Who else is going to be reading?
Oh my God!
I can't remember who's going to be reading there.
Oh my
God! Oh my God! It's our friend Midnight in person. I finally get to meet him. You've met him in person, but I finally get to meet him. And
this is huge.
Midnight in person. You got to show up.
You gotta show up in person, people. If you are anywhere within a good driving distance, or heck, fly in for this opportunity to get to see our friend Midnight live in person right here in Connecticut. We are so excited about our second in-person open mic at Eco Evolution Friday, August 19th, starting at 7:30. You can sign up in advance, or you can just RSVP, in advance. Let us know that you're coming. It's going to be an awesome night full of FUMFA friends, special guest friends, and one of our dearest special guest friends, Midnight Philip J. Curtis, in person. Right. So get ready for that. And we are going to be posting our survey for the fall very soon. So if you've been wanting to get on the show and you haven't been able to this summer, the fall is coming up, and we will be coming at you online on Sunday nights as per usual, except for the nights that we do our in-person open mics, where we'll kind of take a Sunday off that weekend. But that just means you got to come see us in person. So we're really looking forward to continuing to do that. So cool, right, Chris?
Absolutely, and hopefully we might have some highlights from those in person that we can post on our various social media platforms.
We absolutely will. And if you missed last month, we have some clips, some photos up on our social media if you'd like to take a little look, and we will do our best to do the same. And totally forgot about trying Instagram Live this past time. We were so busy, but maybe we'll throw some other treats out there for anybody who's able to tune into something live as well. But Chris, we need to get started with our awesome open mic reading for tonight. And we need to welcome our first reader of the evening. Let's welcome Phil Lemos.
Hey!
Hey, Phil.
How's it going?
Phil, it was the best thing in the world to get to see you in person a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a total pleasure. All right, let me introduce you with your bio. Phil Lemos has too many MFAs. We say there are never too many, especially in our beloved program. When he's not teaching freshman composition or creative writing, he's lugging pallets around retail purgatory. That's such a hilarious line, but sad at the same time. Or writing about all the crazy jobs he's had as an adult. A bunch of people are asking him when he's going to finish the revisions on his novel in progress. And I think you have an update for us relating to that. Yes, Phil, it is.
I'm working on some final revisions, and then I think I will start querying.
All right. Well, we're excited for you. All right, Phil.
Rejections.
No. All right, Phil, take it away. We're excited to hear.
All right. So Hudson is about 20 minutes from me, actually. So just because I know you were asking that earlier. So the last time I was here, I read the first half of a short story that got published back in the spring. It's loosely based on a job I used to have where I would change advertisements on the fronts of shopping carts. And so it's kind of a loosely based on a fictionalized version of that. So this time around, so last time I read the first half, or just kind of like, the first half of the story introduces the job and introduces my boss, whose name in this story is Shopping Cart Cat. And there was somebody else who was in my region named Rayanne. And so for this, I'm going to read the second half of the story. I got the call early one ad change cycle. It was Shopping Cart Cat. Rayanne had abruptly quit. Rayanne covered Fall River. Scott, do you have any extra ads? Cat asked. I have a few. Do you think you could do a couple of Fall River stores this cycle? Fall River was nearly an hour and a half from me. I'd heard stories. My friend Erin grew up in Fall River, and she said she'd occasionally witness carjackings and shootings. I told Cat, I'll do it. Money and mileage reimbursement were hard to turn down. I stuffed 14 boxes full of ads and cart frames into my PT Cruiser. I parked in as well lit a place as possible, grabbed my boxes, worked in one store, and then the next. Funny thing about these Fall River stores, the ads on the carts predated my time at Admerica. Missing a cart here and there was inevitable, but I was removing ads that dated back to the Jurassic period. It was almost like Rayanne wasn't doing her job. Things got really weird the month my PT Cruiser broke down. I hated missing out on a pay cycle, but I called Kat and gave her the bad news. Don't worry, we'll figure something out, she said. The Friday after that ad cycle ended, I forced myself to check my bank account online to see how broke I was. I had more money than I expected. A direct deposit in my bank account from Admerica had posted for the amount I'd normally make during a typical cycle. I never asked Kat about it. I assumed they'd take it out of my next paycheck. They never did. When I returned to ad change duty the following month, none of the new ads were installed. It was like Kat paid me not to work. A couple of months later, Kat was promoted to take over regional operations for the West Coast. Over the next few months, I went through a succession of area managers. First, there was Stacy, who forgot to order my ads. I emailed Stacy. She never responded. Then I emailed Tim, Stacy's boss, and the equivalent of Kat's new position for New England. He must have contacted Stacy, because shortly afterwards, she fired off an email to me. You had a mandatory training a long time ago, and you should be printing your own work orders and completing your own data entry and payroll. Make sure you have your ad change completed by 9 o'clock on Thursday night. This had absolutely nothing to do with the ads, which I still didn't have. I responded to her email. I also CC'd Tim. I don't have the blue low everyday prices ad for the Hudson store, Stacy, so I'm in limbo until they find their way to my doorstep. Simply put, Stacy, your communication skills leave a lot to be desired. Tim responded, hang tight, Scott, we'll take care of it. Tim was a lot more like Kat, overwhelmingly positive with a love for exclamation points. I received the ads a few days later. The next month, Tim sent an ad announcing that Stacy had left the company to be replaced by Mary, who lasted one cycle, to be replaced by Debbie, who always sent me desperate cry for help emails asking if I could take on more stores because reps were quitting. Our routes were supposed to comprise of 10 to 12 supermarkets. At one point in Debbie's tenure, I had 22 stores on my route, and I had to space them out over 2 weeks because Admerica wouldn't pay overtime. All of Kat's successors had another thing in common. They were terrible at responding to emails. I started to think about that one cycle when Kat paid me for not working. I started to get ideas. The first time it was small scale, half-assing it at the bigger stores. I don't have time to do the carts on the other side of the store, I'd tell myself. The next month, it graduated into blowing off a couple of my stores entirely, but I still claimed hours if I completed every store. Nobody questioned me. I knew I couldn't keep this up. After each cycle, I thought about quitting. Each month, just when I was about to give my notice, Debbie sent me another desperate email because someone else had quit. After Thanksgiving, I received a holiday present from her, a $20 scratch ticket. That month, I also moved to Lancaster, a small town north of Worcester. My new apartment was in a remote part of town that didn't have mail delivery, so I had to rent a post office box. Debbie told me they'd send the boxes of ads to their warehouse in Leominster, one town over. The holidays came and went. In January, I received an email from Debbie. Can you please give me a call? I dialed her up. Hi, Debbie, what's going on? Your ads are still in the warehouse. I knew I'd get caught eventually. What? I said, acting incredulous. I received those ads before I moved. Those were probably December's ads, she said. I offered no response. Shit, she continued. That means you probably put the wrong ads in the carriages. Shit, I said, because echoing her concern seemed like the best approach. Just make sure it gets fixed this month. It's potentially a big problem. I definitely hadn't always been the best employee at any of my past jobs, but I'd never been fired before. I wasn't going to start now. I still half-assed February's ad change, but at the end of the cycle, I dusted off an email and sent it to Debbie. Ad change complete. Thanks for your patience. I regret to inform you that I'm resigning to pursue other interests. I appreciate the opportunity to work at Admerica and wish you continued success. Best, Scott. I waited for a response. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Like everyone else at Admerica, Debbie was terrible at returning emails. A day later, I received a response from her. Thanks, Scott. I wish you the best. Moving to Lancaster was the unraveling of my deceit. It allowed me to be even more lackadaisical by leaving the ads in the warehouse. My work had become more and more substandard until it was outright fraud and theft. After I heard back from Debbie, I emailed Shopping Cart Cat. She and I had always had good rapport. We'd even connected on social media. In a reminder of the happier, early days of my time at Admerica, Shopping Cart Cat responded almost immediately. I don't blame you, she wrote. I'm retiring in December. I've had enough. A month after I received my last direct deposit, I was jolted awake by my phone's email notification tone on my nightstand. I took a quick glance at my screen and noticed it was from Admerica's Human Resources. I knew I'd gotten off too easily. Now they were about to come after me. I alternated between staring at the email address, worrying about whether I needed to hire an attorney, and trying to muster up the courage to open the email. The anxiety eventually got to me. I opened it. It said, "We've auto-enrolled you in a mandatory compliance course for all cart reps. Failure to complete the course by March 31st will result in your inability to complete future assignments for us." I chuckled. I wasn't even on the payroll anymore. This felt pretty on brand for Admerica. I deleted the email, turned over, and went back to sleep. And that's it.
Yay, Phil. Phil, I love the jadedness. I was excited to hear the second half of the story because I remember the first half and I was like, I need to hear the end. And just too good. I mean, I've definitely, as an adjunct, with my other whatever they were kind of jobs, you're getting emails like ages later, just like, this sounds about right. This is the way it is.
Bill, you need to put together a collection of these stories of the crazy jobs.
Retail purgatory. That would be a great title, maybe. That would honestly, Phil, please, actually, Phil, we need you to do this. We need it.
All right, that'll be next after my novel gets published.
Well, I mean, but it's
the novel.
No, it's such a great glimpse into the real America, right?
Yes.
where it's just like, people just sort of slogging away, or, there's like smart people, but they're just, for whatever reason, they end up in these terrible jobs.
So true.
They're just trying to make ends meet. I mean, it's like there's so many people in these kinds of
Just
jobs.
like miserable, terrible
Jobs we don't even
communication.
think about. We all go shopping and we see these little things on shopping carts that you don't think about. It's somebody's
Lives of people.
amazing. It's fantastic.
It is. It really is fantastic. Well, Phil, we need that novel and we need the collection, the Retail Purgatory. All right, we're gonna be asking you about it.
Well, I'll see you down in Norwalk in a couple of weeks. So.
Yes. All right, Phil is gonna be there in person. You guys got to come out and see Phil too. It's gonna be a huge night. It's gonna be a huge night. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Phil.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. I removed the banner first.
Uh-oh.
All right. No, I'm good. I got it.
Okay.
We need to welcome our second guest of the evening. We're so excited to welcome Laurel Peterson. Hey, Laurel. Hey, Van.
Laurel, Van, we got
my sidekick.
I'm not Laurel. I'm not Laurel.
a 2-for-1 deal tonight.
Yes, we have a 2-for-1 deal. We have a team here. We'll be hearing from Laurel first and Van a bit later. But Chris, would you do the honors of sharing Laurel's bio with us?
Absolutely. I just have to find it. There it is. Okay. Laurel S. Peterson is a professor of English at Norwalk Community College. Her poetry has been published in many small literary journals. She also has 2 poetry chapbooks. That's The Way the Music Sounds and Talking to the Mirror, and 2 full-length collections, Do You Expect Your Art to Answer and Daughter of Sky. Laurel has co-edited a collection of essays on women's justice titled Reinterpretations, The Shapes of Justice in Women's Experiences, and she's also written 2 mystery novels, Shadow Notes and The Fallen, from our friends at Woodhall Press. She is on the editorial board of the literary magazine Inkwell and served as the town of Norwalk, Connecticut's poet laureate from April 2016 to April 2019. And Laurel and Van are going to be reading, when is that coming up in Ridgeview? It's
the end of the month. I think it's like
22nd or something.
22nd of
August.
August.
Yeah.
Toward the end of August. Anyway,
at Francis Tavern.
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And, so anyway, people, if you're in the hood, check that out. It's that Monday, whatever that Monday is.
Yeah. Whatever the Monday.
22nd, I believe that's the 22nd. Yes. It's
The last Monday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right then. So
Take it away, Laurel.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me again, you guys. I appreciate that. I am going to read from my collection called Daughter of Sky. This beautiful photograph from the Greenwich Observatory, just right here in Greenwich. And the collection is based around 2 things, primarily the death of my father, and then the questions around that arose about what it means to live and what it means to, what happens after that, right? Which, of course, we don't know. So the first poem is titled Daddy. Mom says you can't remember words. Couldn't remember the bathroom was 4 steps away when you woke in the night. It was dark. You couldn't see your way. You who piloted 747s across the world, who guided Navy planes onto surly carriers, who bore me on your shoulders across mother's illness. What evil magic could steal cat from your vocabulary, leave you gray and blank? We all end up as an absence air blows through in the dark. How do we see our way? So my father's death overlapped with COVID. He died right at the beginning of it from something else completely. But certainly the experience of COVID and the loss of him were it's very difficult to handle at the same time. This poem is titled Silent But for the Birds. The air has suddenly stilled, unswirled by truck tires or helicopter rotors. In that voiceless space, birdsong is newly audible. Variable thrush melodies, sharp jay scratch, quick sparrow cheep. But what I first notice is absence, emptiness between leaves, moments between songs, spaces where my father used to laugh and does no longer. So, of course, all this leads to questions about where do we come from? And I imagine that you know that African Eve is supposedly the mother of the entire human race. And this poem is titled, We Carry African Eve's DNA. But from a distance, like light from an already dead star twinkling above our heads as if the planets revolving her remain whole and not ash, as if she persists as life giver and not black hole. Each of us swivels eventually toward death, our bodies finally losing their balance, twisting cell against cell in a family feud, just as our distant star has swung from creating energy to eating it. At some point, we all get tired, just like Eve's DNA mutating through new generations, or that light, buckled by gravity, traveling into the unfurling, unmeasured dark. So when we feel this way, we turn to prayer, right? But I have trouble with belief. I grew up in a very conservative home, and so coming out of that, I have a lot of challenges around that. So this is titled Prayers. It's Friday night, eve of the Sabbath. She covers her head with lace, sings a prayer, lights candles, tells us her gesture summons an army of 3,000 golden angels to protect us. You can't see them, she says, but they're all around. Another friend has a 90-minute conversation with a frog, convinced it wants her magic transformative kiss. A feather stands upright on her hearth, has for days without visible support. She's sure the spirits send her protective feathers. Birds fall dead all around her. I am lonely for the spirit world, for communion, but unable to accept God as she appears, as a frog, as a candle, as a feather. So I kind of think that, maybe the spirits aren't going to save us. Maybe we have to save ourselves. And this poem is titled What We Should Be Worried About. And it has an epigraph from Neil deGrasse Tyson's book, Welcome to the Universe. And the epigraph reads, we worry that the next asteroid is going to take us out. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Thanks, Neil. The sun will last 10 billion years, and we're 4.6 in. The end isn't the problem, probably. Someone will move in down the street like a hail bop, say, who could have slammed us, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Only is not, because now Bob is stardust, like us. Free floating elements looking for new ones to bond with. As if it wasn't hard enough finding a lover in your 1 square block New York City neighborhood. No, what we should worry about is always the middle, where we coat our fish in crude oil, incinerate our forests, birth our children in burning air. And boy, given what's going on in California right now, right? That's just feels a little too close to home. So this poem is about a Russian mountain, right, where the scientists are trying to listen to quantum whispers, and it's titled Boxon Mountain. All these years, we've looked at stars, falling for patterns of pin-pricked darkness. If only we could stand back far enough to see the whole universe clearly, like one of those pointillist paintings or a dot matrix chuck close that dissolves into nothing when near. What a miracle, the moment when you turn to look back from the doorway and it resolves into itself. If only whispers worked that way, even right in our ear, they can echo like a wave washing sand, 1,000 particles somersaulting in liquid suspension, like the tumbling of our own blood synchronized to the pulsing sea and air. All our noise competes with quantum whispers, heartbeats, airplanes, the sizzling out of stars, our own burn wounds hissing. We can't get back far enough into silence for the universe to let us see itself. Perhaps smells or tastes unlock its heart, like the opening of love. Surely, we spend our days oblivious of its knocking, particles streaming through us like light through pain. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Laurel. Powerful, poignant pieces. I just wrote down, what was this? All our noise competes with quantum whispers. Woo! Goosebumps.
Yay!
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Powerful pieces.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking of that asteroid myself, and like, yeah. Thank you, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
It's gonna get us. That's reassuring.
I know, he always seems so upbeat and everything, and then he throws that at us. It's just beautiful poems about your father as well. And
yes. So sorry for your loss.
I think
we've all had a lot of loss in the last couple of years, right? It's been a tough couple of years.
Yeah.
So true.
People particularly can identify with that kind of thing because, you know, they seem so invincible, these guys, and you know, nobody's invincible, but it's a hard lesson.
It was really, really incredible pieces, Laurel. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. I've heard your poems before in person, but so great to hear them live tonight when I can really like listen in and listen very closely.
Well, thanks again for having
me. So beautiful. And we'll get to see you again, Laurel, when Van is up, hopefully. We have the Laurel and Van cam.
Yeah, I think that, but we'll save them for Van.
All right. We'll see you later. All right. Another fantastic reading, Chris. Wow, those poems were really powerful.
I know. Well, you know, we got lots more to go, but it's going to be one of those nights. It's going to be, by the end, we're going to be kind of all wrung out because everybody's going to be so great. So
I know that everyone's going to knock us out. That's what happens on an open mic night. We just, you know, by the end, we're just totally overwhelmed with awesomeness. Well, we need to welcome our next guest, Dee Allen. Dee Allen. Oh, come back on the cam, Dee. Hey. Dee, how are you this evening?
I'm doing okay. And yourself?
Doing fantastic. We're so excited to have you on. You're a friend of ours from Put It in the Chat, and we've been hoping to get you on our open mic for a few months now. So it's so exciting that you're here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce you with your bio. Okay, Dee Allen, African-Italian performance poet based in Oakland, California, active on creative writing and spoken word since the early 1990s, author of 7 books, Boneyard, Unwritten Law, Stormwater, Skeletal Black, all from Poor Press, Elohi Unici.
Elohi Unici.
Elohi Unici. I'm so sorry, Dee. Thank you.
No worries.
And his 2 newest, Rusty Gallows, Passages Against Hate, and Plans, and 53 anthology appearances under his figurative belt so far. Dee, that is so awesome. We're so excited to welcome you tonight.
That number has now climbed up to 60. anthology
Woo!
appearances.
That's awesome, Dee. Super, super
No
awesome.
lie.
Excited to hear you. Take it away. Dee, do you need some help with volume?
I'm okay with volume. I just need to use the share screen feature.
Oh, okay. You should be able to
Oh, there
use
we
it.
go.
You got it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess it's working.
So down at the bottom of the screen, you just click the little share button that you see. Just make sure to choose the tab that you would like. We need to add it. Okay. Oh, I see it. Okay, there it is. There it is. All right, Dee, go ahead. Go.
Cool. Being black shouldn't be a death sentence. Rusty gallows. Reddish brown corrosion covers the whole goddamn structure like a filthy blanket. With so much widespread decay, this old tarnished bridge should have collapsed from crashing waters many floods ago. By some fluke of nature, unscathed by time, it still stands above the muddy Chickasaw River in Shabuta, Mississippi. Once a passageway to a long forgotten Clark County destination, twice an implement of execution like an iron crucifix. This is you. Skull and crossbones etched on the bridge's base, cryptic warning meant for anyone unlucky enough to cross it, and the invisible line away from their place. Between both world wars, unspecified parties. Nah, let's rephrase that. Haters strung up faux boys, 2 girls, both pregnant, young, Negro, and guilty of nothing. Hung from knotted ropes, tied to rusty girders over the coursing river like 6 black flags sailing in the gentle southern wind. And that first poem was called Rusty Gallows. Before I go into the next piece, can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, Dee, we hear you perfectly. Just
Cool.
awesome. Very powerful.
Cool. Thank you very much. Let me pull the next piece up. Wine. One of the most annoying things I've heard of late was caught one morning while riding a BART subway train from Oakland to SF. Some lady in sunglasses boarded and took a seat 8 paces from mine, complained to a friend on her smartphone about how she couldn't wait for everything to be restored back to normal. What was considered normal before the pandemic did damage to certain races, classes, sexes, sexualities, abilities, and nationalities of people, species, of animals, and this nurturing old earth herself. I don't want to return to the old ways, to methods of mayhem. I want to see change for the better after this global sickness subsides. So you want things to go back to normal, huh? Got any cheese and crackers to go with that wine? That was called Wine. And now you got 2 more poems coming. Big business intends to make the earth theirs. Plans. Everybody's got plans to be prosperous and stay prosperous. Everybody's got plans to take more than they'd rather give. Everybody's got plans to own more than anybody should. Everybody's got plans, especially if everybody wears a suit daily, makes 7 figures yearly, and already occupies the 1%. Everybody's got plans to get richer no matter who or what they hurt. And local laws and tariffs in certain countries hurts they plans. Everybody's got plans to force pry a loophole open. Everybody's got plans to meet somewhere distant and secret. Public access and comment are denied from passing through the shut boardroom door. Arguments between companies, trade ministers over tentative plans to take privacy, neutrality, and freedom away from the electronic frontier. We're on the electronic frontier right now just using StreamYard. Drive the costs of our medicines higher. Drive our wages lower. Outsource work to union-crushing, child-enslaving, sea-polluting nations. Send contaminated, unlabeled fish to our shores and other shores. Sue governments and foreign courts over estimated money they might have made. Give strong copyright protection to corporate creations. Self-produced labors of love and culture be damned. And that's an excerpt from the title poem of my new and 7th book, Plans. And the last poem I'm about to do, I'm about to pull up one last picture for the screen. So I'm going to use the share screen feature one more time. This last poem is called Night Eagle. Dusk hides nothing from the night eagle, himself hidden in the trees, with feathers and wings of sandy hue, bulbous eyes as black as his native grove. Nyctophilian bird, watches the wildness and deep darkness, observes change in weather and seasons. From the hollows of oaks, broad branches of redwoods, not a thing escapes his careful, penetrating gaze under the stars. Red men claim the night eagle is the spirit of one of their departed, brought back to earth in avian form, protective, insightful, wiser than he was in life. He gives a sharp chorus of hoots, spreads his wings and flies after intruders on the ground, chasing those field rats back to holes within nightly abyss. Before the slow coming of day, the night eagle, watcher of the woods, wings of sandy hue, black eyes, is my spirit animal, according to a spinning color wheel on an iPad, on a table, under a tent. A pretty blonde park ranger directed me to. During the Stand for the Redwoods Festival, Yerba Buena Gardens, San Francisco. Color wheel rotated clockwise by the touch of my index finger on screen, then slowed in pace. Right side arrow landed on yellow. Northern spotted owl. I don't believe in this spirit animal nonsense at all. But the traits the fabled night eagle has, vigilance, insight, wisdom, lie in me nonetheless. And that last poem was called Night Eagle. The first 2 poems came out of my new and 6th book, Rusty Gallows, Passages Against Hate, from Vagabond Books, released February 1st, 2022. And the last 2 poems came from my new and 7th book, Plans, released 5 days later on February 5th, 2022. Now available from Oakland's own Nomadic Press. From this mic to your ears, I'm D. Allen. Thanks for listening.
D! Oh, no, D, come back. He just dropped the mic right there. That's what that
I'm
was.
still here. I'm still here.
D, you were fantastic. You were awesome.
I just hope the audience thinks so.
Well,
I believe so.
I know you don't have social media, so I just got to show you real quick what people are saying on Facebook from Midnight Powerful. He said, I'm
Yes.
whining because that piece was too short. Penelope rendered speechless by your powerful writing. Devin says, gorgeous. Melissa
Yes.
says, whoa. Constantine says, awesome. And good work as always, D. And we think the same. Just fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here for FUMFA Live. Finally.
Yes, D, we
And-
hope to have you back real
and-
soon.
And don't mind that rooster in the background that belongs to my Puerto Rican neighbor. He is so annoying.
Oh, no, we love it. We love it, D. Oh my gosh. D. Allen, so awesome. Incredible to hear him, his FUMFA Live debut. And, you know, just as with all our other incredible guests, hope to have you back very soon, D. We need to welcome our next guest, though. I know, Chris, I'm already totally overwhelmed. It's just incredible. Phil, Laurel, D. Allen, and we are super excited to welcome Chris. Let me let you get a word in. I'm just too excited tonight. I'm so sorry.
You go for it, girl. You go for it.
Thank you, Chris.
Bring Balki on.
All right, we need to welcome Balki. Hey, Balki.
Hi.
It is, well, this is an especially exciting moment for us because Balki has been a loyal audience member, viewer, friend, supporter, and now we're going to get to hear Balki's poetry tonight. Balki will remain off screen, and I just need to make sure that I get our photo that we will display during your reading, Balki. But anyways, Balki, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great. I'm really feel happy and privileged to be on here with you guys. I have been watching you because I love you guys.
Oh, we love you too.
How did you find your way to our humble little live stream?
Well, I believe in serendipity. Now, computers don't really work with serendipity. You have to know what you're looking for, and then if you're lucky, you'll find it. So I have been kind of doing an archaeological dig for different poetry podcasts and Zooms and live streams. And I stumbled upon you, and you came to my attention because I once looked at Fairfield University.
Hey.
So, I really enjoyed your show. You're so exuberant and alive and happy and knowledgeable. I'm really glad that I caught your number 100 super prize show because you guys were great.
Thank you so much, Balki. That just means the world to us. That is just like one of the best things we can hear. Thank you so much, and how wonderful that you found us. And we hope to stay connected forever. And so excited to get to hear your work tonight. Thank you so much.
And you know, spread the word too. We need all the help we can get, don't we? We get. You know, we could get some more folks like that.
Let your Nova Scotia community, poetry community know.
I'm afraid there may not be any poets here.
Oh no!
They're you know, I'm almost in the woods here. Poets don't grow on trees.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we do have more online friends that we can connect you with as well. But we're so excited to have you here tonight. I'm going to get your photo going. Chris, would you do the honors of sharing Balki's?
Yes, I'm Balki Kamstra is a poet and visual artist residing in Nova Scotia. His poetry has appeared in various journals, including The Best of Vine Leaves 2015, Shot Glass Journal, Hedgerow Journal, England Journal, and Blue Heron Journal. His books, We All Reach the Earth by Falling, and Passion Demands a Vocabulary of Desire, volumes 1 to 4, are published by Vine Leaves Press and are available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. You can see more of his positively weird, WYRDE work on Twitter by following him at Weird, WYRDE, or Balki Kamstra on Facebook. And we get the photo up. Take it away.
Take it away.
Thank you for that great introduction. I'm not a political activist, and I know that that's popular now, but I kind of write from my heart. My concerns are things like time and the nature of reality. And it seems to me that humanity has become focused on a particular path of um, looking at things a certain way and are unable to see other ways of looking at things. In fact, I started off as an artist and I did not want anything to do with words. To me, they were all lies, and in a way, they are. But there are ways of getting in between the words, in between the lines, and saying things that you need to say. So that's what I try to do. My first poem is called Touching the Sky Before the Fall. Years later, I went up the mountain, the air thinning and breath becomes scarce. Below me, the illusory sea I've left behind, images of what I've lived with, are blue and distant as the horizon. I will return there soon enough. I focus now on the treachery of scree, on looseness of handholds, the vegetation's feathery roots, kenning a route where temptations beckon misstep and woe. But if we may pass, it is a road, even if we never come back. I wonder, thinking, is it true that a blue wool scarf wrapped inescapably around your neck can shed unwanted thoughts, misdirect ill will, ghosts, and sparks? A shampoo for the soul and a cry for an ethereal wilderness, summoning a different moon. When I had sat back down there by the village, beached on my familiar rock, where it rose from the sand by the wharf, I would scatter peanut shells to await the tide, little boats left to breach the horizon like the high note of a song. I shivered at the vein block just past the temporal lobe, quivering to the febrile flutter of my heart. End poem. That's one of my longer poems. I've written a lot of very short poems and aphorisms. I do have um, a little ecology poem here. I call it ecology. Uh, it's very short. It is: the moon is already dead. With our help, the land is next, followed by the sea. Then we win. So I'm sure that you've all had some pretty hot days, as we have here. And it kind of reminded me that of a poem that I wrote about a sudden storm. A week ago, the heat was broken by uh, torrential rain and thunder, and reminded me of this. So this is the last rain. In the last rain, I laid down in my driveway, the road above overflowing and spreading water down the asphalt and around my body dam, draining north toward the river. I could be carried away, I thought, though I knew the water wasn't strong enough. But it was there in my mind that this tidal river ran into the sea. And from there were just so many possibilities. End poem. Let's see. So everybody's doing a COVID poem, so I did my own COVID poem, and I'll share that one with you. It's called Compliant. More soft, more pliant, each day opening for the sun. The world is sick, ending, bending toward the earth, and as our blooms grow heavy, we prepare to fall. With just a slight touch or a brush of breath, our walls of wire hold nothing in. We tumble in unison, trading dirt silence for the sound of the sea. In poem. I'll share a couple with you from my books. My first book We all reach the earth by falling. Where did I put that? The first poem that I put in there is called Exercising Judgment. She goes into that room, beating clothes senseless in her metal tub. She hangs them all regardless of their crimes. The men's shirts flapped on the lines like chickens until she came and wrung their necks. And from my series, Passion Demands a Vocabulary of Desire, tattoo. I wish you were a tattoo. I want you that close to my skin. I don't know how we're doing here for time, but I think I have time for a few more. This is kind of a love poem. I call it Raven's Eye. You were always spark enough to glint an eye, raven glimmer, raven spy. But whether mortal or not, you are adorned in none's array, so much so I am tempted to touch you or touch myself. When you came to me with your raven's eye pressed dark to mine, I learned my dreams are true and fantasy a lie. End poem. And this is a love poem as well. It's called Two Times. The wild and star-eyed speed past rude eroded walls, water scars and wind bleed. They scrap like lovers. They climb inside each other, a mist immune to flame, but yet not passion. Suddenly, they go still. Feet lost in the sear sand. There always were more stars than the darkness held. And I'll try another one here. I'm sure someone will let me know if I go too far. This one's called My God is a Dream. Dreams to remember or to forget when you are lulled to sleep. While our bodies are slowly aging, who lets the godlings out? They do not age nor sleep, sitting smug in their shallow shrines. I don't believe a thing they said. I'm not sure if they can reset, so gorgeous they are in their avatars, but you won't see them, not until they want you. Okay.
I
One more.
think we have time for one or two more, Balki.
Okay, great, thank you. This one's called Hollow is the New 40. The running eye is a moat stain within a blistered pearl trim. The purple yellow blear of fat, scratched scars splitting blood. A ramshackle tooth loose and pain where the nail grain scritched slate. Back brain bent as shuck skull gates, the hollow mold skin left behind. That's not what I want, but that's what I got. There you go. Those are my poems for this evening. I hope you all enjoyed them.
Balki! Awesome poems. Just incredible imagery and like poignant and beautiful. And I especially wrote down this line: you were always spark enough to glint an eye. Ooh. Beautiful, really beautiful. I love the poems where we're seeing the nature and the ecology, as you said, and the love poems as well. Really fantastic work, and just such a pleasure to get to hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are really beautiful. And I mean, you started out talking about how you're not a political poet, perhaps
Political person, really.
political person, but I mean, it's I'm sure if we tried hard, we could find something in there that has to do with with in some kind of way there. But it's I think personal poems are in a way you're reaching out and touching people on a very personal level, and it's just as important. And as any other kind of poetry.
Absolutely.
Were quite lovely, and I'm fascinated by this whole idea about words as lies and
Yes.
trying to find dealing with time and reality and all this kind of thing.
I have a lot of theories.
We hope. Well, we'll have you back, and we'll.
We have to have you back, Balki. We're going to need to hear more and more from your work and from your theories and from your writing life. Hopefully this is just the beginning. Getting to hear a little bit from everyone tonight just always leaves us wanting more. So stay in touch, and hope to have you back really soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Balki. What a night, Chris.
We're gonna have everybody is gonna come back.
Literally everyone has to come back.
More.
Well, we still have more this evening.
We're only halfway through.
We're only halfway through, folks. Check it out. We need to welcome our next reader, our writer of the evening, Kiana the Artist. Welcome, Kiana.
There
Hi,
she is.
everybody.
Hey, Kiana. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. It is so great to welcome you to the show, to have you on the program for the first time. And, like we keep saying to everybody, hopefully this is the first of many more. And we're excited to hear you. I will share your bio, and I know we cut down some of the bios, so please feel free to share any other credits, everything else that you'd like to share with us. But this is what we have for now. Kiana the Artist is a self-taught poet from Atlanta, Georgia. She has been writing inspiring, captivating, and educational poems for over a decade now. Kiana the Artist blazed onto the writing arena back in 2010 when she was in high school and has performed in conferences, churches, and open mics. She has also performed in poems in many cities, including Louisville, Kentucky, Chicago, Illinois, Richmond, Indiana, Indianapolis, Atlanta, Haiti, Africa, Scotland, London, New York, Arizona, New Jersey, California, New Zealand, Canada, Missouri, and more. That's awesome, Kiana. Her focus as a new artist is to encourage others to be in touch with their emotions. She strives to be a motivated and inspired, well-known artist around the world. And Kiana, how many books do you have?
7.
7 books, and I'm so sorry. So you need to go follow Kiana, and you need to check out her books and everything that she is doing. And we're so excited to have you with us tonight. Take it away, Kiana.
All right, here goes. My first poem is going to be inspired from the little girl. Please go check her out. Her name is Journey. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. I've been called pretty all my life. How I known to be pretty? Because of the dark skin and pretty long hair. See, I'm pretty just the way I am. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. Hey, pretty, do I change the color of the rainbow? Or do I change the color of my skin? See, I'm pretty just the way I am. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. Hey, pretty, do I go anywhere I want? See, I'm pretty just the way I am. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. Pretty. I'm the little shy girl who wants to fit in all the right places. See, I'm pretty just the way I am. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. Pretty. I'm the little shy girl that wants to fit in all the right places. See, I'm pretty just the way I am. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. Pretty. Do I wear jeans or do I wear a skirt? See, I'm pretty just the way I am. I'm the little shy girl that's called pretty. So please go check her out. The book is called Her Name is Journey, inspired for little girls around the world that's been bullied, low self-esteem, and more. My next poem is called All in One. The attitude of character to visible love to unspoken word. I'm the artist. He believe in God, believe also in me. I'm a woman. I'm a woman with faith with God. What matters to me, what falls in place to never to justify what you could become. Every day is a new day. Every day is a bright and sunny day. I tend to think my friends will become even more. My deepest fear is to believe in yourself, to judge me because I am black. This moment of speech. Now walk in my shoes. Now walk in my shoes. Now walk in my shoes. My naysayers can't say what to say about you because I am somebody. Because I am somebody. To the natural hair, to the natural eyes. Look at me. I'm natural. Decess determines you. Is this mic on? Can I have your attention, please? Walk in my shoes. The dreams of dreams, reality. I am here for the next generation. My last poem will be Everybody Has a Voice. Everybody has a voice of crying to a voice of shout. Everybody has a voice. To mother crying tears to a father loud noise. Everybody has a voice. To a 9-year-old getting in trouble, to a young adult getting in trouble with the law. Everybody has a voice. To college students calling for college loans. Everybody has a voice. To a preacher to preach people's souls to justify. Everybody has a voice. To the White House, to the Congress, to the military, to the dying world, everybody has a voice. To a teacher, to a school, to everybody loves your song, everybody has a voice. To a poet, to a singer, to everybody loves your song, everybody has a voice. To hey, I'm not getting paid enough, to unemployed, to relocated, everybody has a voice. To gangs in the streets against protests, everybody has a voice. To the pretty long white dress saying I do, to a newborn baby coming into the world, everybody has a voice. To get a new trade, to own your own business, everybody has your own voice. To be the next top model, to lawyer in the courtroom, everybody has a voice. So let your voice be heard because everybody has a voice. Thank you.
Woo! Kiana! Oh my gosh, such powerful, inspiring poems. Just absolutely love it, love it, love it, Kiana. I could listen to you all
Thank
day.
you.
I just want to hear more. I want to be inspired. I want to be like called to action. I love it.
Thank you. And all my social media is Kiana the Artist. So yes, go check out all my work. Everywhere from Amazon to TikTok, however you call it. But they all out there. Just type in my name, Kiana the Artist. But I'm glad to be here to show my art and be a part of you guys' event.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. And that repetition.
Thank you. And I'm glad to do Everybody Has a Voice because everybody has a voice in this time of crazy thing we have out here, you know.
Sure.
Especially the children that's getting ready to go back to school. They don't know if they're gonna go back to school. Some saying they are, and then you know the kids like they don't know what to do anymore, you know, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's the world is such a challenging place most of the time, and it's so wonderful to hear your poetry, which is encouraging, which is powerful, so real, talking to these real issues, but at the same time like empowering and motivating as well. Kiana, we have to have you back for a feature spot, just like everyone else, so we get to hear you for a good 25 minutes. We want to hear more. So please do stay in touch, and everybody go follow Kiana the Artist. Thank you, Kiana. Awesome. Oh my gosh, Chris, I'm inspired. That was awesome.
No kidding. You know, I felt like I was at like a rally or, in church, it's like it's the refrain,
It was awesome. I love that repetition. I loved it. I loved it. So powerful, and so encouraging. I love that so much. Kiana the Artist. Awesome. Well, we still have 3 more writers that we're going to welcome. And, we have all of these fantastic special guests, new friends that we're meeting. And we're very excited to welcome Ryan Meyer. Welcome, Ryan.
There he is.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show. We're so excited to hear you. And you know our friends from Woodhull Press.
I do. Yes. I used to work with Dave Legier when I was working in poetry or working in publishing, excuse me. So he's a good friend.
That is so awesome. We love it. We love it. Well, Chris, will you do the honors of sharing Ryan's bio with us?
I will indeed. Ryan Meyer is an award-winning writer whose work has appeared in Freshwater Poetry Magazine, Beechwood Review, Folio Literary Magazine, Moontide Press, and Spellbinder Magazine. Ryan and his books have been featured in Forbes, Cosmopolitan, Publishers Weekly, Pop Culturalist, Lambda Literary, Connecticut Magazine, and more. His self-published 2 books of poetry, Haunt and Tempest, 2018 and 2021, respectively. He lives in Shelton, Connecticut.
Shelton in the house. Connecticut.
Learn more about Ryan and follow him at nothingpeak.com. That's nothing, PEAK.com. Check it out, everybody. Take it away, Ryan.
Take it away, Ryan.
Awesome. Thank you again for having me. I'm going to start with a poem that was recently published in Spellbinder magazine called Brand New Sun. Edging closer to the supermassive, dangerously close to phenomenon, the swatting away of clustered debris lights up every cloud, a match struck in space, a fire unfamiliar. They search the skies for a place to glow, dark enough for their light to span many a mile, uninterrupted by the many. Alone in your little corner of space, you burn brighter now, a newfound inspiration, a hypnotic orbit, a brand new sun. What life is born? It thrives, basking in you and all you have to offer. My next 2 poems that I'm going to read are from my most recent book called Tempest, available everywhere books are sold. Flamingo. You're crowded by deadlines and forged from pink flamingo sunsets that call you on Friday nights, just when you've opened the bottle of Pinot from that trip to wine country. Hazy-brained, alkaline mind, only as charged as your phone, left unattended by the windowsill, catching rays in rainbow glare, dreaming they could kiss your hair instead. The leaves on your potted plants softly graze your back as you plank on the living room floor, eyes closed, their green palms waving your tree pose. Spilled soil becomes sand between your toes. Outside, rush hour rolls high tide, ebbing and flowing, and only a blaring horn pulls you back to shore. Your surfboard cursor bobs along the surface. Gulls shriek the morning alarm on Monday, and your continental breakfast is dark roast in the pineapple mug you got for your 30th. By 3, sunlight reaches your desk at the office, drapes along your hands halfway through the big weekly task. You revel in the warmth. This next poem is called Come Around, and I open with a quote from John Ashbery's poem called Yclept. The past should be more confident. It has little to lose and everything to gain. Almost 2 years in, after many nights of tear-stained pillows and impenetrable arguments, we brought a fruit platter to the party. It was hot that July, or was it August? Nerves nestled on a bed of open arms. And later we all attended your birthday, piled in the car, totally out of left field. What normalcy usually is it not? Like there was nothing to worry about. Still, it must have felt like a leap of faith you didn't think you were ready for. Looking back, it's funny to think about the women who wouldn't have let this go any other way, who stood arms crossed, one foot tapping, eyes staring daggers, unmovable in the way of all other outcomes. Now at weekly Sunday dinners, with too much food for this amount of people, which you once teased your mother-in-law about, you know a six-pack and a bottle of Chardonnay are just enough for the right gift basket, especially with your hand always there for support underneath. And then I have 2 more poems from my first collection of poems called Haunt. It is a spookier themed book, but I'm going to read some that are a little less spooky. Letter from Beyond. You remind me of someone I used to be before skeletal hands became of me. I see in you a fawn just learning to walk, still seeing the world as a sandbox full of plastic toys. In a way, it certainly is. Beyond the veil, accompanied by ghosts, I watch you learn to grow, witness as your bones stretch out your skin throughout the years. Mine press up against gravity-strained cheeks, peer through ailing knuckles. Do me a favor, don't crack them. Let them grip tight every opportunity. I wouldn't want you to let anything slip away. You still have so much time. And my last poem that I will read is called We Fear the Worst. It was quiet that night when the end began. No one knew it would all be over. You watched the city lights turning off one block at a time. A tidal wave of dark, you braced yourself for what you didn't know. You listened to Julian Baker on the couch by the big window. For so much I think, little I know. No time passed before you heard the sirens wail, yet you sat there bathed in quiet, humming peace, hoping it won't be as bad as everyone thinks it'll be. And that's what I have for tonight.
Thank you, Ryan. So great to hear you. What fantastic work. Such vivid imagery. And then I loved the spookiness and the poignantness of the last poems as well.
Yeah. When we do have you back, I want to hear some of that spooky.
We do a spooky night around Halloween time too.
Ooh, I'll be there. You know I'll be there.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Well, we need to invite literally everybody on this open mic back for a feature reading and theme readings. Keep your eye out for our call for spooky night. We'll probably be reaching out to you, Ryan. We got to hear more spooky.
I'm around.
Fantastic poems, and so great to get to virtually meet you and hear your work tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Ryan.
Our pleasure.
Awesome. You know, another new friend, more amazing work, Chris.
Right there in Shelton, Connecticut.
Right there in Shelton. That's right. Well, Ryan, you should come down to our in-person open mic. You're close by. You got to sign up. Or just come out and meet us in person. That'd be amazing. All right. Well, we have 2 more amazing guests for you tonight, folks. We need to welcome Carolyn Dollman. Welcome, Carolyn.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Carolyn,
Hi,
how are
Chris.
you this evening?
I'm fine. I'm delighted to be here.
We are so delighted to have you. And you were telling us about an awesome ice cream social you were at earlier, and like some rhubarb cake. You were making our mouths water over here. What a perfect way to spend the last day of July. Ice cream social, open mic with us. Probably the best way to spend it, really.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Carolyn, I am going to share your bio to introduce you to us. Carolyn Dalman's life writing has appeared in the Wisconsin Magazine of History, North Freedom, published by Cornerstone Press. Okay. Oh, sorry. Whoa. Has appeared in Wisconsin Magazine of History. North Freedom, published by Cornerstone Press, is her debut book. Congratulations. That's awesome. Dalman grew up on a family farm within the limits of North Freedom, Wisconsin. Prior to writing full-time, she worked at the Badger Army ammunition plant in Sauk County, Wisconsin for over 30 years. Carolyn, we're so excited to meet you, to get to know you. We have been communicating with Cornerstone Press for a little bit, and excited to have you on the show tonight, and excited to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. This is my book, North Freedom. It is 350 pages. It's a collection of over 60 nonfiction interrelated stories about my childhood on the family farm in the village of North Freedom, Wisconsin, population 600 during the 1950s. When I started writing in 2015, I was working from a list of memories. And as I talked about them as I wrote, and one day my 7-year-old grandson said, "Grandma, you are so lucky. I can't do those things. Life is different today." And I kind of smiled at the 7-year-old, but I remembered what he said, and I thought, he's right. He can't do the things that I did in the 1950s. And then I thought, is that way of life being forgotten? And could I use my memories to write stories to capture that way of life so that it wouldn't be forgotten? Before I start reading, I'd like to introduce my main characters. I do this in my book. This is my family. This is my mother and my father, and I am 11 years old. This picture was taken in 1959. My younger brothers are David. He's 16 months younger than I am. Alan is less than a year younger than David, and Randy is 9 years younger than I am. I'm going to read one of my first story is going to be from a section of the book. There are 10 sections. This particular story is called Bathroom. I talk about the different rooms in our farmhouse, and I describe what kind of things happened in those rooms, and this is called Bathroom. At the top of the basement stairs was a door to our bathroom. Toilet, small sink, and clawfoot tub. "Get a kiss, Daddy's going outside." My brothers and I ran from whatever we were doing through the bathroom to the door where Dad stood at the top of the basement stairs, waiting for us to give him a kiss before he left. The thought reminds me of the mingled fragrance of pipe tobacco and Old Spice aftershave. Our bathroom had 3 doors. The one to the basement, the door to the kitchen, and one to Mom and Dad's bedroom. Our old farmhouse was built with no indoor plumbing. Later, but before we moved in, an existing pantry was converted into a bathroom. However, a bathroom with 3 doors presents privacy problems. None of the existing doors had locks, so hook and eye latches were installed. Mom and Dad said if a door was closed, we were to politely call, "Is someone in the bathroom?" before entering. This led to another problem. The person leaving the locked bathroom usually unlocked only the door they exited. Mom constantly reminded us, unlock all the doors when you leave the bathroom. The hook and eye system worked until someone had to go really bad. They were usually in a hurry, called out, waited briefly, then pushed through the closed door that likely was hooked shut. Bam, clink. The hook and eye pulled straight out of the wall and bounced off the sink, toilet, or tub. Frustrated, Mom located and repositioned the hook and eye. This worked briefly, but soon, bam, clink, the wooden doors were being destroyed. There are no locks on the bathroom doors. Mom made the announcement at supper one night. Anyone wanting privacy in the bathroom has to make noise. Sing, count, talk. If you hear someone in the bathroom, don't go in. Either wait your turn or use the outhouse. The older I got, the more noise I made in the bathroom. And that's the end of my first reading. My second reading comes from another section of the book that is called Animals. The title of this story is The Bull. It's fairly self-explanatory, so this is the bull. The bull was usually at the lower farm. However, one fall he had been in the field south of our home on the upper place, grazing on corn stalks, the remains of a recently harvested field. He had a ring in his nose attached to a heavy metal chain with sturdy links that was attached to a large, heavy cement ball. He was docile, but my brothers and I were told, "Stay away." That same fall, when our bull was tethered at the upper field, we experienced an exceptionally memorable Halloween. As I sorted through my mound of treats that evening, Elsie Worth from next door came knocking. There was a call for us. We did not have a telephone. Mom trucked off to Elsie and Dan's to take the call. She was laughing when she returned as she explained folks uptown had reported seeing someone dressed up like a bull. The costume was very real looking. They saw it nosing around the grocery stores and meat locker. We were to make sure our bull was okay. We would have heard it if someone hurt our bull. He's just beyond the backyard. Mom was confident. On the other hand, it is Halloween. She glanced at Dad, who chuckled at the story as he walked toward the back door. He was gone only a short time before the back door flung wide open and Dad tore into the house. The bull is gone. The cement ball is there. The bull is gone. Dad was puzzled. Where was our bull? Momentarily befuddled, Mom and Dad looked at each other, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Did someone take him? We had heard no commotion. Or, heaven forbid, could our bull be walking around uptown on Halloween? This is a serious situation, Dad muttered as he pulled on his jacket and ran to the barn. He grabbed 2 galvanized pails and scooped a big helping of ground feed into the smallest pail. The bigger pail he half filled with water. With the pails in the back of the truck and watching in every direction for our bull, Dad slowly headed uptown. He felt he needed Grandpa's help to find the large animal and bring him home. He stopped at Franklin Street, got out, and shone the flashlight across towards Grandpa and Grandma's terrace. No bull. He crawled up the terrace and jogged kitty-corner across the empty lot to their back door. There were no lights on in the house that he could see. He pounded on the door to no avail. Dad reconsidered searching for the bull on his own, but he did not think that was a good idea. He shuffled in the dark to the bedroom window and pounded some more. Grandpa was not happy about having his sleep interrupted in such an abrupt manner. "Who's out there? What the hell you want? What's going on?" He growled through the narrowly opened lower sash of the double-hung panes. He could not initially determine who was pounding outside in the dark. Grandpa roused quickly when Dad told him about the bull. He even said it was a good thing Dad thought to bring ground feed and water. The big guy could be enticed with the familiar aromas. They hurried to the truck, each grabbed a pail, and started walking uptown. The bull actually found the men once he smelled the ground feed. And I'm going to stop reading there and let everyone find out what happened to Dad and Grandpa and the bull on their own. And that is the end of my reading.
Cliffhanger, Carolyn!
I know. I had a terrible feeling that was going to happen. That was great.
Carolyn! What an awesome way to just capture your life and this community and kind of this, some of these kind of almost lost memories and ways of living that just aren't so long ago, but still like so incredibly fascinating and funny and wonderful.
What a great gift to not just your little grandson, but to everybody. And it's funny you're talking about this bathroom. We had a bathroom with 2 doors growing up, and I hadn't thought. So somebody would lock the doors. Only one side, and the pandemonium that would have.
Yes. It's surprising how many people have said that to me. Our house was just like that. in many of my other stories too, classmates and people from the village of North Freedom. So it was great fun to write it, and it's great fun to connect with people over it.
Carolyn, that's awesome. We clearly, like we've been saying, we need to have you back for a full feature reading. We need to hear the rest of the Bull story, and we want to hear more. What an awesome book, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for asking me to be here.
Our pleasure, Carolyn, and we'll have you back soon.
Okay, thank you, Chris, and thank you. I really appreciate being here. Bye,
Thank
Kate.
you. Thank you so much. Well, that was fantastic. Carolyn Dollman. Wasn't that great, Chris? So cool.
But I'm very frustrated. I don't know what happened to that bowl.
I know. We need to know. We need to schedule Carolyn for a feature reading ASAP. ASAP.
That's what people need to do.
Well, and last but not least, we are super excited to welcome back the Laurel Peterson and Van Hartman cam. We need to welcome Van Hartman. Van.
Okay. I'm totally daunted by coming on after all of these great readers and writers and talents. So I'll do my best, but
you're going to be incredible, Van. But
great.
I mean, it's been an awesome night.
Thank you for having me.
But I see Laurel bailed on you, and she
totally bailed.
More
She's probably out with the dog and the frisbee.
Oh, I did not.
Oh my God, that was too good.
Wait,
I love this.
Who's upside down, her or me? One of us is upside down. We're not sure which.
That was the cutest thing I've ever seen. I love it.
Anyway,
well,
go ahead.
Van, you're going to be absolutely incredible. We're excited to hear you read. Chris,
I'm going to read Van's bio. Van Hartman is a professor of English at Manhattanville College. He has published 2 books of poetry, Shiva Dancing and Riptide, as well as a chapbook, Between What Is and What Is Not, and individual poems in various journals. Van lives in Norwalk, Connecticut.
Woo! Same here.
Fellow poet who we met earlier, Upside Down, and as well as Right Side Up, Laurel Peterson. And take it away, Van.
Okay, I'll try to go right side up. So I will acknowledge that at this point in my life, after a couple of medical issues and my age and so forth, one of my issues is mortality. But another issue is my connection with the natural world around me. So with that introduction, I'm going to start with a poem called I Heard a Dog Bark When I Died, with a little nod to Emily Dickinson. Today, I found what might have been a dog, fox, or coyote, something canine with fangs, its fur flat and mummified, a faded leather coat stretched tight over a bent frame of bones, tail a stiff curve of cartilage, barely distinct from the splay of branches among which it lay. I spoke to it, asked how it lived, how it died, how it found its way into my yard. It had no answers, yet spoke through time as through a thin gray mesh, porous as a screen door in summer rain. So thank you. That's my first poem. Next poem kind of follows a similar theme. It's called Self-Storage. Along a stretch of parkway north of New York City, adjacent to a faux Italian funeral home with sprayed-on terracotta walls and red roof of polychloride vinyl tiles, a large orange sign offers self-storage in a glass and steel building with locked cubicles that open onto neon-bathed catwalks visible from the road. As I drive past, I wonder what selves are stored there, what body parts and psychic scars packed tight inside each unit, what arrangements have been made with a funeral home next door. I've driven this road for years, toting my own detritus of debt and doubt so heavy I'm amazed my car's poor chassis hasn't collapsed beneath the weight. Parts of me I feared I'd have to shoulder until the end. Others I've grown a fondness for, their roots sunk deep into the sinful soil of my earthly self, worried that when my time came, I'd have to discard them, orphans left to beg along the roadside. Now, as harbingers multiply, I see it's time to start to pack things up, take stock, lock, and barrel, deposit them in some secure, well-lit place to await my arrival. I know, dark poems, I'm sorry. And this is maybe darker, called What Is Left? I am not that walnut-sized lump that gave transit to my sperm the doctor recently removed. I am not the rebel cells that extracted from my bladder, nor the tuberculosis germs infused like squads of border guards to prevent their return. I am definitely not the sons or daughters I will never spawn. I am not the legs that lifted my bodies in back flips when I was 17, nor the arms that held me firm in handstands and still swing rackets toward opponents across nets. The wins and losses are not me. If I extract my eyes, my ears, both beginning to fail, I am still left. I am not the thoughts that drift like a tide leaking out to sea, exposing mud and muck and rock, deep memories of a coastline that surfaces and submerges, blurring boundaries between what is lost and what remains. I am not even, in this moment, this poem that flows from this pen into its own life apart. I am, perhaps, the remnants of that stardust, moving ever more rapidly away, exploding and combining into worlds I'll never see. So, this is a little shift, a little experience that came out of a morning walking toward class where I teach at Manhattanville College, called Traveling Through October Light. And again, I will give a little nod to William Stafford, who wrote a poem about a deer that he encountered on a roadway. Autumn broke bright with a crisp October sun, the kind that clarifies and fortifies for winter, as I retraced the stone path to my class, the one on values, where I again would lead young minds through the tangled maze of what it means to do the truth in charity. A hawk had taken ownership of a nook where two walls met, hunched in shadow, bracketed and smug over its catch, a young squirrel, soft and brown, still throbbing with life, chest expanding and contracting in quick pulsations, dark eyes deep pools of pleading, fixing on mine. I stopped, something like charity filling my chest. The hawk, sensing my tilt, unfurled huge wings, pressed the squirrel's head into the dirt beneath sharp talons, met my gaze with eyes blank and bottomless, black holes consuming the early morning light. Some students gathered round, one from my class, whose eyes had tracked mine through the semester, perhaps seeking some truth lodged deep in the shadows of my experience. But now his brow furrowed, his eyes adrift between the squirrels, the hawks, and mine. I listened hard, needing just a whisper to tip the fulcrum between gravity and life, but hearing only silence, feeling my own slippage toward winter, time's talons pressing down. I turned from the squirrel's eyes, from the hawk's, and hurried on to my task. So this is called Hunger, and there is a place that I stop on my morning long walk and meditate for a while by a pond, and this comes from that. With dark wings tipped like swords, mocha-breasted swallows work the pond, riding currents in graceful minuets, mere inches above the water, swoop and drip and dip to kiss the surface in quick eruptions of silver spray, their chests making brief contact, then returning to their element, resume their dance across the sky. But in that moment, gleaning some morsel from the feast-filled air or the pond's wet skin, their hunger fed by tiny winged creatures, themselves scouring the plenty just below, the porous line between worlds dissolving, where hunger ends, where it begins. What hunger of my own this beauty feeds. This is called Geese. You'll sense a theme here. The dock is of a gray composite built against sea storms and tides, perfect for viewing late light spreading across the water at happy hour. Our martinis clear as gin, slight tinge of green given off by the olives that have settled above the stem of the conical glass. The sun has also settled onto the base of the world, screaming red exuberance as we turn to watch it drop into the hills behind us. In front, it spills its quiet silver across the sound, soon to sink into gunmetal gray. Below us, geese forage through the reeds. Two adults, each a composition of brown, gray, white, and black, herding their goslings, 8 or 10, green as olives, green as the grass that all but obscures them from would-be predators, from the sun's stark fire, from intruders like us. And then one last poem that's kind of a weird thing. I don't know what it means, but it's called Morning Meditation, and it comes from a meditation. Slender trunks, lithe, limber, pine, beech, and birch sway in the breeze. Their morning hair green and tossing at the sun's return to flood this quadrant of the spinning earth with particles of light, this web of matter consuming and consumed. In a woman's womb, a seed becomes a newt, fish fins turned hands, hands fan out to fingers. As I sit here exploding and decaying, 30 trillion cells a second firing oxygen and glucose, emitting CO2 and vapor, transmuting the bombarding sun to feed the swaying trees. My dog leans his head against my thigh, noses at the treat I've placed in my pocket. The trees sigh in the wind. So thank you. I don't know what my poems mean, but that's what I'm doing.
And we love them. Well, beautiful meditations on life and imagery and mortality and these crystallized beautiful moments of life and moments in nature. Yes. Hey, Laurel.
Well, thank you.
Van, they were fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really quite lovely, beautiful, and well, what did you say? They're dark. But I love dark, and
Well,
and very thought provoking,
And but like gracefully dark, like we're feeling that darkness and a bit of that heaviness, but also kind of like a grace with which it is kind of expressed and meditated upon. Really, really lovely voice.
always light. I mean, to me, for me, there's always light that comes in through the language, right? I mean, as dark as the subject matter is, the beauty of the language provides a light.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
I hope so. I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Van. Absolutely incredible. And once again, we need to have you back as well. Maybe we could have a full evening of Laurel Peterson and Van Hartman. That would be fun.
That would be great.
About that.
And and on the 22nd, they're doing this at the Keeler Tavern in Ridgefield.
That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Our Genesis.
Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for having me. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Van. Chris, what a night!
Unbelievable.
I mean, just incredible. One more time, everybody out there, give a round of applause for Phil Lemos, Laurel Peterson, Dee Allen, Balki Comstra, Kiana the Artist, Ryan Meyer, Carolyn Dollman, Van Hartman. Go follow all of them on social media. Go buy all of their books. And keep following us, because we do hope to have them all back for features, for group readings, and all kinds of good stuff soon, and maybe even for our in-person open mic if they are local, if they're going to come out.
Yeah, some of these folks are local, so come on down and see us.
Yes, absolutely. What an incredible night of readings, Chris.
Beautiful, one after the next. I mean,
it's just fantastic, and just so many different visions and so much different imagery. We got to hear so many different fantastic voices tonight. What an awesome night.
It was a veritable cornucopia.
Yes. Well, and just a reminder to our incredible readers and writers to please hop on to social media if you do have it, and go see all of the love you've received in the chat throughout the evening, especially during your readings. We'll be back next week, Chris, with
Laura Johnson and Colleen Alice. Colleen, I think, is a Cornerstone Press.
That's right. We're going to have a few Cornerstone Press folks coming on. So that's going to be very, very cool. Thank you so much, audience, for enjoying the evening with us, for sharing your incredible comments, and just for being here and being awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you next week. And we're wishing all of you a good night. Thank you so much.
Peace.